Hello, in this video I'm going to take you on a tour of 10 places that people commonly fail the driving test from the Heath Driving Test Centre in South Birmingham. Just before we get driving, I would like to point out a few things. In my years of teaching people to drive, I've always encouraged everyone to learn to drive properly, because if you learn to drive properly, you'll fly through a test with ease. And you should not just learn test routes. However, having said that, there are certain places that have little nuances, little things that catch out even experienced drivers. So we're going to get driving now, and I'm going to show you these 10 places. So, just parked up on this quiet road, there's no one around, so I don't need to indicate. And at the end of the road, I'll turn right, and we're going to very quickly get to the first of these locations. Now, we'll be skipping from one to the next, so I'll be editing the video so you don't have to watch me driving between each one. But they are all fairly close together, and the first two are so close that I can do them both in one go. So we're going to turn left onto Gay Hill Lane, which is where that car just went into. The one thing here, not the main thing, but one thing, is you can't see the speed limit when you go around the bend. Now, you may be seeing it on the screen, you think, well, that's easy. I couldn't see that at all because the centre mirror is blocking it. So this road has a national speed limit, so I could do up to 60. And this is what people get wrong. They come down this road, they get to fourth gear, and they're going down here. And this catches people out because it's a big hill. And I know you might think it's not that big. The hills don't come across well in videos. But there are not that many hills in Birmingham. It's quite a flat area. And often people are going up the hill and the car starts struggling and struggling and struggling and struggling and struggling. And there's no one behind me for quite a way, so I can do this. And he starts going bam, 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 bam. And I come down to third, too late. Bam, 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 down to second, too late. Bam, bam, bang. And I've had a lot of people stop here and they just stall up the hill. Now, to an experienced driver, that might seem silly. But remember, we're talking about learner drivers who are going for the test. They're not that experienced. But sometimes I've had experienced drivers I've done tests with. You can see those videos. And it's called some of those out because it suddenly appears. I always remember one pupil saying to me once, "Where did that hill come from?" Well, that hill came out of nowhere. So the next one, we're going to turn right, and I will put links in the description to these roads on Google Maps so you can see them, and I'll write the names of the roads in. But the next one is Bell Green Lane. You would normally come from the other way, but it doesn't matter because that's not the point. When we go in, see if you can spot something. National speed limit again. But the problem is, on this road, people do this. They wait for this car in front to turn. They start speeding up like this, and they start going 40, 45, 50. The examiner's on the brake. Whoa, that is too fast for this road. And the people say, well, the limit was 60. It's a limit, not a target. The one reason this road is on the test routes is it tests, are people going to drive at an appropriate speed? And some people say, oh, it's a trick, it's a con, they just want you to fail. They don't want you to fail, it's not about that. They are testing you, because if they don't test you, the world will. And what that means is, it's better to fail on a test and get something wrong and learn from it than make a mistake in real life and pay with your life. Because if you get something wrong on a test, the examiner's there to help you and educate you and give you advice. If you get it wrong in real life, you could die. And some people miss this. What's coming up here? You see the bend to the right. There's often a cat around it. There's two dogs there today. But a lot of people miss this bend. So the main point here was the speed limit. You can't just go to national. Just because it says national does not mean it's safe to do that. So always drive at a speed that is conducive to the conditions. It's not just about, oh well, the target, the limit is 60. It's not a target, it's a limit. So I'm now going to skip ahead and I'll see you at the next place, which is only about 5 minutes or so away from here. So let's get on to the next thing that people get wrong. Okay, so we're coming up to the next one that people fail at. And it's not this one specifically, but it's any of this type. See if you can see what I mean when we get there. So another point I like to make, just when I mentioned about people say, oh, the examiners just want you to fail. I like to clarify that. They don't want you to fail. Like, examiners are there to assess you. People have these conspiracy theories. Oh, they just want to fail you to make more money. Well, if you don't know, there are massive waiting times at the moment for the driving test. Nobody wants you to fail, believe me. The examiners would prefer you to pass because they are under enormous pressure at the moment, and it's no good saying, oh, they just want you to fail. Normally people think this, but some people think it's all a conspiracy. They have pass quotas. They don't. They really don't. Like, they would rather you pass, if anything, because examiners are just everyday people, like you and me. They don't want you to fail. They don't gain anything by failing. They're already fully booked for months, so why would they gain by failing? Anyway, so here is the next thing people get wrong. Not just here, but at these places in general. What's coming up? What's it saying on the sign there? What's this other sign saying? And what's the other one saying at the end? Stop. Well, you must stop dead, or as it says on the floor, stop-o. It says stop-o because it used to say stop there, and they moved it. So you can't just roll like this. You must get there, and you must stop dead still. You don't have to put that handbrake on, you can. You don't have to, as long as you've stopped. Then creep and look and slow and go. You must stop dead still. There must be no rotation of the wheel. It is not sufficient to just slow down and creep and crawl. Even if you just pause with the clutch control, no. Stop dead with the brake. I recommend stop, put the foot brake fully down, dead still. You don't have to have the handbrake on, but if you come the other way, you would, because you'd be going uphill. So you'd have to stop, apply the handbrake, set your pedals. Again, depending on your car, not a good practice to lift your clutch with the brake being held down. If you're being taught to lift the clutch with the brake being held down, no, that's incorrect teaching. If you stop dead, you're supposed to apply the handbrake, and I've done other videos on this. I'm not going to go off topic, otherwise this video will get too long. But that's another thing that people fail on. So I'm now going to jump ahead about another 5 minutes. We're going to get to another road, and I'll show you what people often get wrong on there. So see you soon. Okay, so we're coming up to the next place, and this is called Tanner's Green Lane. Now there is another road on the left in a moment, which is called Mill Lane, and that one is very similar. You can go down either of these. I think you only go down Tanner's Green actually, but this one on the left, that's Mill Lane. Yeah, just checking on the sat nav, that's correct, Mill Lane. And the next one we're going down is Tanner's Green Lane. And you would normally come to this from the other way, but that doesn't matter because that's not the problem. The problem with this road is, well, we'll see if you can spot it when we get there. I know it doesn't look quite the same in the video as it does in real life, but you should still be able to tell what the problem is. So it's not too far to come up just in a moment, just before a bridge. If you come to this from the other way, it will be just after the bridge, and that's where people sometimes have trouble, because you come over the bridge, see how the road is quite close to the hump on the bridge. There is a sign the other way telling you the road is just after the bridge, but people don't really have trouble with that. There you go, Tanner's Green Lane. I'll come down to first because it's quite a tight one. So what's the problem with this road to begin with? You see how it's fairly narrow, not too bad, but it does get narrow in places. But you notice on the left and the right, there is a lot of scarring on the road. It's like potholes, not a pothole, it's more like a ditch, a trench, all the way down the road. You cannot go in that. You see like where people have gone in and you get stuck. So you can't necessarily get up to the speed limits on this road. I'm keeping it at about 30 because, again, you just can't get any faster now. Even though the limit's higher, you can't go higher because it's just not conducive. I can't see much at all, so I'm checking my mirror, slowing down. There is a bridge, if I remember here. Yeah, like a very narrow bit. So I'll always be ready to stop. I'm covering the brake with my right foot. I'm braking, down to second, but stay on the road. Don't go off onto these bits here. Slowing, creeping, always ready to stop. But I can go. See, the limit's 40. I'm doing 23, and that's about as fast as you could go on that part. I was doing about 10 when I approached that bridge. This part, see the road's kind of collapsed on either side. You would not be doing 40 around here, I'm doing 16. And that's all you really want to be doing. And what people get wrong is they see a car and they start going off the road. And there's proof of this, because in one of my driving lessons, somebody did that and blew 2 tyres up. And I've got that on video. I'll put a link to it in the description. And I'll link to all the things I mentioned in like roads and whatever and other videos in the description. So I'm going to go left here. And I'm going to follow to, I was thinking of that road, because I normally come out that road. I was thinking I was on that road there. If you come to that one, you have to stop and or give way, look left and right quite a bit. But I was coming out of this one instead. I'm going to go this way. I'm just thinking of the best way for me to go. Could have gone that way, but I'm going to go this way. This is also quite narrow because you do come out this way, and it's the same all the way along this road. If I went that way, you wouldn't get to see this. So it's quite narrow, not as bad, but still bad. And you can't get up to the speed limit. Like it's 30 on this road, I'm doing about 28, and it goes up to national. But again, what people get wrong again, similar to the other one, is they just think, oh look, national, oh put my foot down. I'm not going to do it because it'll be dangerous. But you can't do more than about 35-ish on this road. If I start going like this, someone comes the other way, slow down, it's too late. Good drivers don't react. They predict ahead, they plan ahead. It's often said with like younger drivers say, oh, I've got faster reactions than older drivers, that makes me better. It makes you worse, because the fact you're reacting shows you're waiting for something to go wrong and then reacting to it. Whereas an experienced and good driver wouldn't let it go wrong in the first place because they'd know it was coming or they predicted it was coming, and they'd take appropriate action so they didn't have to then react. Anyway, I can't go here for quite a while, so I'll put the handbrake on and I'll see you at the next location. Okay, so we're coming up to the next place, which is Beckett's Farm. Yes, Beckett's Farm. If you've learned to drive around here, you'll know what this is. It's a large roundabout that learners tend to not like because it's a spiral roundabout or a gyratory roundabout. And what people get wrong on this is that they simply mess up the lanes. Now, I have done another video all about spiral roundabouts and how to drive them properly, and not just this one. I will one day do a video on this one in particular. I have done videos of me driving it and teaching people it, but I've never actually done a video all about it. But what people get wrong is when you come out from that road there, or if you've come from further back, they say follow Birmingham, they say go ahead, second exit. If you look at the floor, you'll see, although the markings are very poor, you always have to think, does the left lane go ahead? Does it go the way I want to go? Yes, so I'll go in the left lane. But people often end up in the middle, which is not wrong, but it's just this lane is available, so use this one. What people can really get wrong is they go from here and they swerve to that middle lane. You've got to stick in the left, stay in your lane. And as I mentioned in other videos, that car's going the other way. But if the car behind me will come off this way, I wouldn't speed up. People speed up here with the car next to them. You end up racing each other down the road, especially when the right lane is going to be closing soon. That is not a good idea. But if you have someone overtaking and you just put your foot down and you're like drag racing down the road, big mistake. So I will do another video on that roundabout, but the thing is, if you're going ahead, most times you would keep left there. But please watch my video on spiral roundabouts for a better explanation. This truck is moving around in the distance. So I'm going to do the next one now because it's going to come up quite soon. So I'll talk about this roundabout a bit more and that roundabout back there. You simply have to keep as far left as you can, regardless of which way you're going. Even if you're going right, sometimes, not on that one, but on some roundabouts, the left lane can go right. So don't just think left lane goes left, middle lane goes ahead, right lane goes right. That's not how you do it. you always keep as far left as you can, regardless of which way you're going. If you're going ahead, it could be the left lane. So there's smoke in the air, you see that? There's a big fire or something going on about there. So you choose the lane as far left as you can for the way that you want to go. So you look at the floor, you think, does the left lane go the way I want to go? No. Then you look at the next one over to the right. Does the middle lane go the way I want to go? Yes. So use that one. What's this here on the right? Some kind of cover or something? Don't know what that is. That's weird. It's like some kind of fence with a bin liner stuck on it. And there's police the other way. I wonder if something's come off a truck or something. Yeah, I've seen police on this road doing the training. Sometimes they have like 2 or 3 cars in the road blocking everyone, and they do like pursuit to pulling over training, and I've seen that. I think I've got it on video where they're pulling over like a pretend criminal, practicing the police chasing. That would be great fun, wouldn't it, to do that? Anyway, we're now coming to the next location, Maypole Roundabout. Now this is what catches people out, because in the last one it was left lane ahead. On this one it isn't. Now you don't have to memorise this. Yes, it does help if you know them, but you don't have to memorise it. You look at the floor and you think, does the left lane go ahead? No, I can see from here the arrow says left only. So does the middle go ahead? Yes. So I'll turn my mirrors on, braking, clutch, no rush for the road's closed on the other side, no rush for the gears. I'll go down to first, and I want the left lane when I go, so I'm checking my left mirror, keep left. This is the middle lane from out there. Again, it's hard to explain what's on the move, but I've stayed in the same lane, and I'm in this lane now because that's a bus lane on the left. I haven't got time to explain all this as I'm driving, because it's very hard to be explaining everything because I'm driving at a normal pace. But I'll go over that more in a moment. The next location is here though. This is at the end of your test. You go right, and people do mirrors, signal, but they don't move over here. They stay in this lane. You've got to get over, get out of the way. The car behind has been too close for the last mile or so. Follow the arrows round the back of each other, not round the front. I've seen 2 times here people have done that. There's been a huge crash because they've come round the wrong way. Notice there as well, I was looking to the right, and people say, oh, what's the point of looking? People aren't coming that way. They're not supposed to be coming that way. I've got a video I'll link to in the description of when I was on a high speed 70 miles an hour dual carriageway, and I was on a lesson, and me and the people had a car coming towards us at 70. What do we do? I can't remember if we did like 50 or they were doing 50, whatever. It's all kicking off here because it's very tight on parking, and this is where you start your test. Yeah, the car was coming the wrong way towards us on a dual carriageway. So never say, oh, they can't come down here because it's the wrong way. If you can do it, people will do it, if it's right or wrong. So there's another location here. I know I'm going through these very quickly. Again, this is very hard for me to be doing this and talking to you and driving and paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm doing all this. I'm prioritising my driving. It's easy to sit back and watch a video and say, oh, you never mentioned this, you never said that. That's because you're disassociated. You're out of it. You're watching a video. When you're actually there doing it, it's very different. So this is Stotfold Road, and this is where you finish very often, and also where people go wrong, because this is often at the start of your test. You come out that other road, you go right then right, and see if you can spot what people go wrong here. That's where you finish. They'll ask you to pull up on the left in a bay. People sometimes don't get in the bay. That's very good parking there. Look ahead. What does it say? Can you see? What's it say? What's it saying? What's it saying? What's it saying? And people say, which way do I go? And examiners say, follow the signs, or do what you think's best. It's a left turn, so you don't have to indicate you've got to go left. And loads of people there don't see that. It's probably because they're at the start of the test, they're nervous. I know I'm going to come over here because I need to go round about left. But yeah, loads of people just don't see the sign, and if you ask the examiner, you know, which way do I go, then normally they just won't answer, or they'll just say, do what you think's best, and they're being helpful. Again, people say, oh, the examiner's horrible, they didn't help me, they want me to fail, they have quotas, they want to get more money. No, it's because they did say to you at the start of the test, please follow the road ahead at all times unless road signs or road markings indicate otherwise. So they've already told you that at the beginning, they've said, follow the road ahead unless markings, road markings or road signs tell you otherwise. But people often don't get that, and then they get to a junction and they say, oh, which way are we going? If the examiner hasn't spoken, look around, because most of the time you'll have simply missed a sign. Yes, I have known times, because I've been on driving tests, I've done hundreds where I've sat in the back. I always recommend taking your instructor with you whenever you can, because it's just good for them to see what you're doing. If it will put you off, don't do it, but it's up to you. But yeah, I've been on hundreds of tests, and there were two. One I can remember where the examiner forgot to say, or you got the directions wrong, and I was thinking, oh, he didn't say. And then you got to be annoyed with the people saying, you got it, you missed the turn. But they didn't miss it, you never told them to take it. He just forgot to say. He forgot to say turn right, and that was his fault. But he wouldn't admit it. But yeah, there was another one where the examiner went the wrong way, and I remember him saying, oh, they've changed all the roads around here, and I thought, they haven't changed the roads, it's because you've gone the wrong way. Yeah, it does happen. My examiners are human beings, they make mistakes like anyone. Passing an advanced test like I have doesn't make you perfect, you're still human, you still make mistakes. So here we are on Warstock Road, and I did want to park quite close to the end to show you this sign, but unfortunately all the parking spaces are full up there. So at the end of Warstock Road you have to go right. Sometimes you don't have to, but on the test they'll say, can you turn right? But what they'll say to you is, at the end of the road, turn right. Did you notice how I stressed, at the end of the road, turn right? Now, let me get driving and I'll show you several things people get wrong here. And again, this will be quite kind of rapid fire, they're going to be coming up in quick succession. But I do my best to do it as slowly as I can. I just have to be considerate of other people around me. So, the examiner says to you, at the end of the road, turn right. You'll notice if you look on the sign on the right here, there is a tiny little line just before the end. Can you notice if I slow right down? You notice there's a little line that tells you there's a road here. People signal right now, and that tells everyone you're going down there, so don't do that. Wait till you've passed, then signal. Clutch, brake, roll. I want to be where the white van is, but I can't go yet. Don't pull them next to them, because it blocks their view. So I'll stop and put the handbrake on because it's quite busy. I can't go just yet, but loads of people here stay in the left lane there because there are not that many one-way roads around this area, and sometimes people haven't seen them before, although they have, they haven't done that many of them. And you wait here and you go to the right lane again because the left lane is a bus lane. I'm going to go round and show you that again. Sometimes you turn right in here and people get confused because they go in and then they go down that road over there, which you can do, it's not wrong, but that's not the same road, that goes off another way. So I'm going to go this way, go round in circles here. So I notice to go one way, so I don't strictly have to indicate, but I will. So when you come up from there, I'm going to wait for that van to go, because I want to have as much time as I can. You go into the right lane, because when you go right here, a lot of people go into that one, and they turn right from there. Don't do that. If you end up in the wrong lane, what do you do? We'll go the wrong way. There is no wrong way, you just go in a different way, right? So you just go that way. So that's what you do. I'm going to go down here again. Move over early, get into this central part now. Don't wait till you're there and then swerve in last minute. The point of me being here is I'm no longer blocking the cars in that one. If I wait, I don't have to wait because it's clear, but imagine I wait. See these cars passing now? They can pass. If they can't pass you, then you've done it wrong because it means you've blocked them. You must allow room for people to come through. So that's what you do. If you get towards the end of that road, you go right from the right lane. Like now, this road is one way. So if I was going into this road right, I will keep in the right hand lane. It's because there are not that many one-way roads around here. People often get it wrong, and when they do this, they do U-turn here, they make the mistake of turning here. Don't go into the double line, go into the single line, give way at the double, so people from there could come round here and into there. Maybe that car will, that would be good if they did. No, they're not doing that. But that red one could come round me and go the other way. So you enter, this doesn't always apply, but generally you go into a single line, like the first one, and you come out of a double line. Does not always apply all the time, but most of the time. So let me show you this one again, because so many people get this one wrong. The examiner says at the end of the road go right. They're stressing the end. Don't signal now and go where the red car's going, because that's not the end. It looks like it is, but it's not. Mirrors, wait for the signal. Brake clutch, signal now when you pass the road, go in the right lane. If you end up in that lane, just turn left. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just go the road, you can turn around somewhere and come back. Don't ever go right from that left lane, because you'll be failed instantly, because it's dangerous. In the same way, don't go left now from this lane. If you want it to go left, tough, you're going this way. Because if you go the other way, you're asking for a crash. So I'm going to go here, and I'm now going to continue along the road. I won't turn again. Another thing people get wrong here, notice the bus lane ends. You must check. Sometimes things come flying down the bus lane, and I've had a few near crashes where people go past now. They just think it's funny to shoot in front of a learner and nearly crash into you. Don't do that, but do check your mirrors. Make sure that whole section there is quite awkward. And if you enter that road from the other way, if you're coming up here, which I don't think you do anymore, because this is the old test centre on the right here, we used to come out of there. But yeah, if you enter that road from the other way, it can be a bit awkward. But you can see that on my other videos. I've mentioned that before. I think I did that in my one of my mock test videos. I've done loads of those, you can check out. Okay, so we're here at Taylor Road. Now Taylor Road, which is quite close toward the end of your test sometimes, catches people out, because what do you think people get wrong on this road? Well, they do this, they start speeding up, and I'm not going to do it, I'm doing 25, but they get up to 30. Like the country roads earlier on, it's the same deal. Yes, the limit may be 30, but you can't do it along this road. It depends on the conditions. It's not as bad today as it sometimes is. But very often, like here, it gets narrow, and you can't just be doing 30. And people say, well, I don't understand, the limit was 30 and I was doing 30. Yeah, because it's a limit, not a target. I nearly said it's a target, not a limit. Look at this, an excellent example. Someone in a wheelchair crossing the road, brilliant example. Imagine if I'd been doing 30 down here. You would have had time to see them and stop, but things like that can happen. People cross the road, especially kids tend to run out between parked cars. You must be able to stop on the road you can see is clear in front of you. So what that means is, if you can't see, which I can now, I put the handbrake on there because I didn't think I could go, but then it cleared. If I had to brake now, I could easily stop on the road I can see in front of me, no problem. I'd stop way before that bus, just checking what they're doing. But if you are going at such a speed, so not there, I was checking no one was walking in front of the bus. Like I was saying earlier, don't react, be proactive. If I had to brake now, I'm doing 27. If I had to brake now, I could easily stop on this road I can see is clear ahead of me. If you can't stop on the road you can see is clear ahead of you, if something was to happen, like a car coming out, a kid jumping out, then the speed you're doing is not good, regardless of what the speed limit is. Doesn't matter. If the speed limit is 30, doesn't mean you can do 30. You do whatever is appropriate for the conditions. You can't go over the limit, but you can go under it. You cannot, however, get done, if you want to call it that, for going too slow. You can be pulled over by police for going too slow, like if you're doing 5 miles an hour on a motorway. However, I'm going to go into the test centre, the old test centre, and I'm going to give you a bonus tip. So this is like number 11, the 11th thing people get wrong. There's been more than 10 really, there's 10 locations, but I'll give you a lot more than 10 tips. But I'm going to show you what people get wrong with their bay parking. So I'm going to go around here again, keeping it slow. Check into the left, coming down first. Don't wait till you see someone then react. Be proactive. So I'm going down here, and what people get wrong is this. I'm going to go further down the bar menu just so I'm not in anyone's way. Not that it's a very busy place anyway. So the examiner says to you, please drive forwards into any available bay. And people often say, which one, left or right? Doesn't matter, just pick one. So I'm going to move over here, away from the bay. I'm going to turn into a bay. And I'm going to deliberately get it wrong. I'm going to go in the middle of two, like this. And what people get wrong is they just give up. And I've seen this, I've been on tests when people have said, and the examiner asks you, are you happy with that? And I say, yeah, that'll do. Oh no, I'm not in the bay, I failed, you know. I know I failed. Don't just say that, give up. And the examiner says, if you think you failed, correct it. You can correct it if you want. Nah, it's alright. And this is rare, but I had it with one pupil once who was a bit moody. I give up, can't do it, hate this stupid test, can't do it, give up, can't drive, never going to pass. And I gave up. And the only thing that failed on was the bay park. And I remember the examiner looked at me, I was in the back, and he turned around and looked at me and he just went, all they had to do was this. Go back, put your arm around the chair if you want, hug the examiner, and then drive into the bay. You've passed. Why would you do that? Why would you give up and quit? And if you've got it wrong again, do it again. Go back. Because the examiner will get angry with me. No, they won't. It's rubbish, mate. The examiners get angry with you. I know I said earlier that one got a bit angry. Don't worry, that examiner's not around anymore. He was just having a bad day, I think. He's a nice guy, he just had a bad day. I'm in the bay. And talking to hugging the examiner, I always remember once I had a pupil pass the driving test. I've got this, I think I've got this on camera. Because they finished the test and we were filming something. And they went up to the examiner and said, do you mind if I give you a hug? And they hugged the examiner. A good tip though is, if you think you're not in the bay, forwards or back, turn off the car, handbrake, neutral, put in one if you want to be sure you won't roll. Then you can check around and open your door, have a look, make sure no one's around, open your door. Are you in the bay? Yes. You can, if you want, ask them, can you open that door? Lean over, open it, have a look. Don't open it with the engine running. Don't imagine how the car's running. Now when in the bay, yeah, I'll forward a bit, forward. Don't do that. Turn the car off and have a look. Don't leave the car. I did have somebody once say, can I get out of the car? And the examiner said, well, not really. But you can look. Put the mirrors down. Like that. And have a look. You don't even have to open it with the mirrors. And people say, oh, but that's cheating, you'll be failed. Who makes these stupid rules, mate? It's cheating. The reason the mirrors go down, as I've said in previous videos, is so you can see what's there. Right? They go all the way down, like that. Some people say, oh no, they go down because some people are lower. Right, if I stay as low as I can, that's still way too high for me. That is not why the mirrors go down. Some cars, I won't name the brand, but some certain cars, they have a feature so that when you go to reverse, I'll simulate this because my car doesn't do it. When you go to reverse, the mirrors automatically go down so you can see to help you park. There is nothing wrong with having your mirror down. And I've had people say to me, but how do you do it? I put the mirrors down. That's how I do it. If I'm bay parking, you don't have to. It's easier if there are cars next to you because you can use those as a guide. But it's harder to park when there's no one else. So I'm a bit distracted. There's something a bit dodgy going on over there, I think. But never mind that. So I hope this video has helped you with these 10 or 11 or however many places it's been that people fail the test. If you want to see more like this, let me know. Again, please don't just learn specific junctions, but I hope you can see how the ones I've showed you do catch people out. There are loads more I could do. I could easily do another 10 or 20 or 30 maybe. You might want to check out my other videos on the screen now about mock driving tests and learning to drive. And if you want to watch more videos, have a look at my channel, go to my website, firstdrive.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.